Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thank you for stopping in. Today we have a knife to unbox coming in from Trivisa. Thank you to them for sending this in for us to take a look at. If you like knife and EDC content, you are in the right spot. Make sure you are subscribed here to the channel. I release daily knife and EDC content just like this. Hit that thumbs up button. That helps push the video out there to more people. And let us know what you're carrying in your pockets today down in the comments. So nice packaging as always from Trivisa. You get the sleeve, and then we have our two-stage box here. Then it comes with a sticker, microfiber cloth. We get a quality control check card, paperwork, drawstring bag, and then we have our knife here in a Ziploc baggie. And this is going to be called the Trivisa Antia, I think is how it's pronounced, Antia, but I'm not 100% sure. This is actually, the name is based around a constellation in the southern celestial hemisphere. And yes, I did read that on the website when I went to gather at least a little bit of information on this knife. I have never checked this knife out before. This is going to be coming in 14C 28N steel. I'll have Trivisa linked down below in the description, as well as this knife. Now we are looking at a knife with multiple deployments here. We have a rear flipper, front flipper, and we have this fuller that runs almost the entire length of the blade there. And you can get in and reverse flick. You can get in there and thumb flick it. The rear flipper does have nice jimping there. And this thing has really good springs in there. Reach around. Yes, it's going to be good. And then that kind of curves out, which should be nice and comfortable on the finger. Nice row of fine jimping there, and it's a nice long stretch of jimping. Ooh, yeah. Typically, I would say almost 99 times out of 100, a front flipper that is a button lock just doesn't feel that great. This is not one of them times. This feels, and Trivisa, we've handled, I want to say, on the better part of 3 or 4 button locks from them. And somehow Trivisa is one of them companies that has managed to make it feel like this has a detent before it goes, because a button lock doesn't have a detent. It is using that spring. But somehow, some way, they're making it so there's enough resistance before the blade gets kicked out that it feels like there's an actual detent in there. It's pretty impressive. Micarta for our handle material, and they do have a couple of different colors that you can choose from. I saw green and blue with satin and black washed. I would have probably went with blue and satin, but this murdered outlook is really cool, and the blade has a black washed finish, so that is going to be a good working finish. This would be a good user finish right here. We do have a deep carry wire pocket clip that's going to be reversible here, and then we have a G10 backspacer in between those steel liners. This feels like a pretty good size. I would say it's more on the large mid-size range. And as far as the button is concerned, there's no drag or lag when you push that button in. So that is a nice touch there. Why don't we go ahead and we'll see what kind of specs we got on this. And if you're not familiar, Trivisa is one of those companies that they actually are producing their own designs. So that is a unique kind of little tidbit of information if you didn't know that. So we are looking at 2 7/8 of cutting edge, about 3 1/8 of total blade, and then we're coming down, we'll say 7 3/16 of an inch overall. We'll put it up against a couple of comparisons here. We have the Vosteed Raccoon and the Kaiser Drop Bear. Going to be kind of right in the middle of both of them. A little bit smaller than the Raccoon, but a touch bigger than the Drop Bear. And a couple of larger comparisons. We got the CJRB Frac and the full-size Kaiser Militol. It is going to be much smaller than both of those. And two more. We got the Para 3 and the Benchmade Bug Out. Going to be a little bit smaller than the Bug Out, but I would say the closest one is going to be the Para 3 there. That is almost identical. We'll go ahead and see what this thing looks like in the pocket. It looks like it's going to carry pretty deep. We'll check it here in our Issuing Stitches cloth. And good retention over that initial hump there. And that is going to carry nice and deep. You won't see any of that knife poking out of the pocket there, which some people will really enjoy. As far as the weight goes, this isn't a heavy knife, but I'd say it's going to be right around, feels kind of right around 3.5 or so. Let's see here what we got. 3.4, so right on the money. 3.4, or almost right on the money. And another thing we can depend on with Trivisa is they are going to put a screaming sharp edge on that 14C. Let's see if they continue that trend here. Telephone book paper. Maybe I spoke too soon. Oh, maybe I didn't. Okay. Hold on here. I think my angle is goofy. So it's nice and sharp. Typically you got to put like a little something on it, but this one's more of a straight, kind of a straight down cut. Just for something to do. Let's see how it does with something a little denser. Not much denser, but a little bit. It's got a good bite to it. Sometimes that telephone book paper can be very finicky and doesn't always tell the whole story. All right, so we are down to the brass tacks, and our blade is nicely centered up even after all that messing around. We don't need to check detent lash because there isn't one. There's no pivot lashing in there. Up and down, there's a slight bit of movement, but nothing that would draw any concern. And pretty much the same story side to side. There's a tiny bit of movement in there, but that is the nature of the beast and not a cause for concern. Trivisa has a good track record when it comes to their locking mechanisms and not failing, a lock test. So let's see how this fares here. Couple of lighter taps to get it started. Feels good. And it sounds good too, so. Very good. And we have a coated blade, and we have, everything's coated. So that's a good thing. Sometimes coating can get on that tang or on your lock face somewhere and can cause issues with the lock, and it's not causing us one bit of issue here with this knife. And, this is going to be geared for someone who's looking in a specific price range, around the $50 mark or somewhere in that ballpark. And this is going to be another great option in that realm. 14C micarta, it is an extremely common tandem at this point. Micarta and 14C are widely used, and if you're someone who's maybe newer or you just don't know, micarta is one of my favorite handle materials. Some people don't like it, and 14C is one of my favorite steels. So to me, it's an awesome combination. So I really like the combination of 14C and micarta. Of course, I like a little bit different variation depending on why I'm getting the knife. But like I said, this would be a great user finish here, this combination. If you're looking for something a little bit flashier, then maybe go with the satin and green or blue micarta. That would be a little bit, flashier than this setup here. But you'll have to let me know. What do you think of the Antlais here? And what you think of Trivisa, and if you have any experience with their knives. I always look forward to your guys' input and your thoughts and opinions on the knives and the companies. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. That helps push the video out there to more people. And if you're new here, I release daily knife and EDC content just like this. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Ring that bell. That'll notify you anytime I release any new content, even when I go live, and I do every Saturday, Monday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Anyone and everyone is welcome. I'd love for you to swing by and hang out. I will put up a couple of new videos on your screen right now. Go check one of them out. Have yourself an awesome day. Thank you all again for watching. I will catch you on the next one.